Chosen one, lean in for a moment, because what I'm about to say is not random, not accidental, and definitely not something you just stumbled upon in the endless noise of the world. No, this message found you. It traced your spirit. It followed the cracks in your heart. It arrived at the exact second your soul whispered, "I can't keep carrying this alone." Heaven has been trying to reach you, and right now, you are finally still enough to hear it. You've been walking through storms no one knows about, silent battles inside your chest, invisible wars behind your eyes. Nights where your mind became a battlefield, mornings where you rose with nothing left but the thin thread of your will. And still, somehow, you survived, not because you were the strongest, not because you always believed, but because your calling refused to let you die in a chapter you were meant to outgrow. There are wounds on your spirit that even you haven't admitted out loud, questions you've buried, moments you still don't understand, times you thought, why me? Why do I keep getting hit like this? But chosen one, the truth is far more divine than you realize. You weren't surviving those storms. Those storms were revealing you. Each one was peeling away who you were never meant to be until only the purpose inside you remained. And chosen one, before we go deeper, pause for a moment, breathe, let your spirit settle. Now hit subscribe and comment, "I received this," if something inside you is already awakening. This isn't a commercial break. This is a spiritual agreement, a declaration that you're ready for what heaven is about to unfold. Because listen carefully. If life failed to break you, it's because destiny held you together. Purpose wrapped itself around your soul. Something higher than fear refused to let you fall. You kept surviving what should have destroyed you because there is a future, an assignment built on your endurance, your scars, your awakening. And now, chosen one, the veil is lifting. A hidden truth is rising. What you're about to hear will finally explain why your survival was never a coincidence, why every battle was preparing you for a revelation that begins right now. Chosen one, let's go deeper into this because what I'm about to reveal is something your spirit has felt for years but never fully understood. When I say hidden protection has been around you, I'm not speaking in poetry, I'm speaking in truth. You have walked through seasons where the odds were stacked against you, where the weight on your chest felt heavier than your own heartbeat. Yet somehow, you made it through. Have you ever wondered why? Have you ever looked back at moments that should have shattered you and suddenly realized there was something, some force, some presence that didn't allow the story to end there? There were roads you were never meant to walk down, but you almost did. Moments when one wrong decision, one wrong friendship, one wrong environment could have completely altered your direction. And somehow at the last second, something shifted. A door closed. A person revealed their true intentions. Your intuition grew louder than your fears. You might not have recognized it at the time, but chosen one, that was divine intervention. That was heaven stepping in and saying, "No, not this path, not this trap, not this ending." Think back to the times you were delayed, when plans fell apart, when you felt frustrated, when you didn't understand why things weren't moving the way you wanted. What if those delays weren't setbacks but shields? What if those rejections were reroutes designed to protect you from what your eyes couldn't see? How many times, chosen one, did you later realize, if that had worked out, it would have destroyed me? You weren't being punished. You were being preserved, protected from the very things you prayed for. Not because you didn't deserve them, but because they weren't aligned with the destiny written over your life. And let's talk about the people who crossed your path, the ones who smiled while carrying intentions your spirit quietly sensed. Have you noticed how some people simply drifted away? How certain friendships ended abruptly? How some relationships collapsed overnight? At the moment it felt painful, confusing, maybe even humiliating. But looking back, can you see how the removal was necessary? You are a chosen one, and not everyone is meant to walk beside someone carrying a calling as rare as yours. Heaven knows who can stay and who must go. Heaven knows whose presence would weaken your path and whose influence would darken your light. There have also been moments where your own intuition saved you, even when you didn't understand why. A sudden hesitation, a strange discomfort, a dream that warned you, a feeling in your chest that said, "Don't do this, don't trust that, don't go there." That wasn't random, that was guidance. A divine whisper woven into your conscience, steering you away from danger that your physical eyes could not detect. Have you ever felt it? That subtle pull in your spirit that refused to be ignored? Chosen one, understand this. You're not still standing because you were lucky. You're standing because your soul is protected. Your path is guarded. Your purpose is too important for heaven to leave you unshielded. There are battles you never had to fight because they were handled in the unseen. There were threats you never encountered because the divine moved you before harm could reach you. Even in the moments you felt abandoned, you were being carried. Even when you felt alone, your spirit was surrounded. I want you to ask yourself, how many times did you escape something without even knowing you escaped it? How many times did peace come out of nowhere? How many times did strength appear in moments you didn't expect? These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. You have been watched over, chosen one, guarded, protected. And if heaven has invested this much in your survival, imagine what it must be preparing you for next. The protection was not random, it was purposeful. Something powerful is written ahead of you, and your spirit has been preserved for the very moment you are stepping into now. Chosen one, take a slow breath because what we're about to uncover reaches deeper than your memories, deeper than your childhood, deeper than anything you've consciously lived. When we speak about the spiritual roots of your resilience, we're not just talking about strength. We're talking about a power woven into your very soul, something ancient, something inherited, something divinely coded into you long before your physical body was even formed. Have you ever wondered why you rose from things that should have ended you? Why your spirit refused to break even when your heart was exhausted? Why even in your darkest nights, something inside you whispered, "Keep going." This resilience didn't come from your environment, because many times your environment offered no support at all. It didn't come from the people around you, because many of them didn't see your worth or understand your struggle. It didn't come from motivation, because motivation fades. It doesn't carry you through trauma, heartbreak, loss, or spiritual warfare. No, chosen one, your resilience comes from a place far more sacred than anything external. It comes from the invisible lineage of your soul. It comes from the divine imprint stamped onto your spirit before you ever arrived on this planet. There are parts of you that have survived storms you don't even have language for yet. And have you noticed how, every time you thought you had reached your breaking point, something awakened inside you? A strength that didn't match your exhaustion, a clarity that didn't match your confusion, a determination that didn't make sense considering the weight you were carrying. That wasn't you forcing yourself to be strong. That was your spirit remembering its origin. Your soul has lived through dimensions, lifetimes, and experiences that shaped a resilience far beyond human understanding. And chosen one, let me ask you this. Why do you think other people crumble under pressures that you somehow push through? Why do you think you have a capacity for endurance that doesn't match your age or your background? Why do you feel emotions deeply yet rise even deeper? Because your resilience is not a personality trait. It's a spiritual inheritance, something passed down through generations of souls, through ancestors who prayed for someone like you. You are the result of battles they fought, tears they shed, wisdom they earned. Their strength became your foundation, and their survival became your blueprint. There is a reason your resilience activates strongest in darkness. It's because your spirit has been trained in realms you can't remember consciously. You've endured spiritual lessons that prepared you for warfare long before your physical eyes saw anything. That's why when life cornered you, you didn't collapse, you transformed. That's why when the world tried to dim your light, your soul found ways to glow from within. Your strength isn't natural, it's supernatural. It rises from places that are ancient and sacred, places your spirit still carries the vibration of. And let's be honest, chosen one, haven't you ever wondered why life demanded so much of you? Why you were thrown into hardships you never asked for, responsibilities you didn't choose? burdens you carried before you even understood their weight? It's because heaven trusted your resilience. Heaven knew what was embedded in you. Heaven placed something inside you that could withstand storms other souls weren't built for. You were chosen not because your path would be easy, but because your spirit was equipped. This resilience is also what guides you toward your destiny. Every time life shifts, every time a chapter ends, every time a door closes, your resilience turns into intuition. It nudges you, protects you, redirects you, teaches you. It's the quiet force that whispers, "There is more for you. Keep moving." And you listen, not because you're stubborn, but because your soul recognizes the frequency of destiny calling. So, chosen one, understand this deeply. Your resilience is proof that you were sent here with purpose. It's evidence that your spirit is older than your wounds, stronger than your fears, and wiser than your pain. It is the reason you have not only survived, but evolved. And as you move forward, this ancient strength will continue guiding you, shaping you, elevating you, and preparing you for the destiny you were always meant to rise into. Chosen one. Before we enter this next revelation, I want you to breathe slowly and let your heart open, because this truth reaches into the deepest chambers of your story. When we speak of pain as preparation, we're not romanticizing struggle or glorifying suffering. We're acknowledging something sacred, something you didn't realize was happening in the shadows of your hardest nights. Every moment that broke you, every season that left you questioning your worth, every tear that fell silently in the dark, all of it was shaping you with a precision you couldn't see at the time. And let me ask you gently, haven't you ever looked back and realized you became someone stronger, wiser, more aware because of what once hurt you? Your pain was never punishment. It was never life trying to destroy you or heaven turning its face away. It was a classroom, a refining fire, a sacred molding process that carved depth into your spirit and wisdom into your eyes. You didn't just survive those moments, you were being transformed through them. Chosen one, your heartbreak softened your heart, but strengthened your boundaries. Your betrayal taught you who never deserved access to your soul. Your breakdown stripped away what was false, so you could finally recognize what was true. Pain was sculpting you, almost the way a master artist chips away at stone, not to harm it, but to reveal the masterpiece hidden underneath. Think about it. Before the pain, you trusted too easily, you gave too freely, you ignored your intuition because you didn't yet understand the language of your spirit. But now, you see differently, you feel differently, you sense things before they happen. Why do you think that is? Because your pain was training your discernment. Every wound sharpened your awareness. Every disappointment tuned your intuition. Every ending made room for the life that was trying to enter. You were being prepared, chosen one, not punished. And I want to ask you something you may have avoided. Have you ever noticed that the situations that hurt the most ended up teaching you the lessons you needed the most? The moments you thought would break, you actually built the strongest parts of you. The loneliness you once feared became the space where you met your true self. The silence you resented became the environment where your inner voice grew louder. The pain you hated became the doorway into your higher calling. Isn't it extraordinary how your lowest points became the foundation for your greatest growth? You must understand, pain stretches you. It expands your capacity to love, to empathize, to understand others deeply. But it also strengthens your backbone, so you don't settle for less than you are meant for. Pain refines your spirit, stripping away illusions and revealing the truth beneath the surface. It is uncomfortable, yes. It is heavy, but it is purposeful. And chosen one, the life you are stepping into now requires the version of you that pain helped create. A version that is awake, intuitive, wise, anchored, and spiritually aware. You were being fortified for a calling bigger than your past. Because your destiny is not ordinary, your preparation could not be ordinary either. Heaven had to toughen you without hardening you, shape you without breaking you, strengthen you without stealing your softness. Your pain didn't destroy you, it designed you. It crafted a resilience and depth that cannot be replicated. It pulled out of you gifts you might never have accessed without pressure pushing you inward. And now, chosen one, you are rising into a season where what once wounded you will no longer define you. Instead, it will guide you. It will protect you. It will remind you of who you've become. Every hardship was building the strength required to carry the blessings and responsibilities ahead. You are not entering your next chapter as a fragile version of who you used to be. You are entering as someone refined, awakened, and aligned. Pain prepared you for a life only you were chosen to rise into. Chosen one, before we step into this revelation, I want you to settle your spirit for a moment. Take a breath. Because what we're about to uncover is the part of your story that you've always felt, but never fully understood. When we speak about the unseen warfare against you, we are entering the territory of the invisible. The battles that were never spoken about, the storms that arrived without warning, the heaviness that sat on your chest long before you had words for it. Have you ever wondered why your life intensified the moment you started growing? Why chaos rose whenever you stepped closer to your purpose? Why you felt spiritual pressure even when nothing in your physical world made sense? Chosen one, you have been walking through battles most people will never acknowledge, much less survive. And the reason is simple. Your spirit has always been a threat to darkness. Even before you awakened, even before you knew who you were, even before you understood your calling, something about you radiated light. Something about your presence disrupted the plans of anything that feeds on confusion or fear. That's why the storms hit you differently. That's why the attacks were timed precisely when you were becoming stronger. You were never weak, you were targeted. Think back to those seasons when everything seemed to fall apart at once. When your relationships crumbled, your mind felt overwhelmed, opportunities disappeared, and you couldn't explain why you felt so drained. Have you ever noticed how that pressure always came right before a breakthrough? As if something was trying to stop you from stepping into the next chapter? That wasn't random. That was spiritual resistance. When the light inside you begins to rise, the shadows around you become agitated. They push, they provoke, they confuse, they test. Why? Because they know that if you fully awaken, you become unstoppable. And chosen one, ask yourself honestly, why did the enemy come for you so early? Why were you attacked before you even had strength to defend yourself? Why did darkness try to break you at the stages of your life when you were the most innocent, the most unprepared, the most unaware? It's because the potential in you was visible long before you could see it. The calling on your life was evident long before you could name it. The threat you posed to darkness existed long before you ever stepped into spiritual clarity. You were marked by heaven, so you were noticed by everything that opposed heaven. But here's where the truth becomes powerful. Every battle you fought in silence was proof of the magnitude of your light. The heaviness you carried was confirmation of the territory your soul was meant to claim. The confusion you navigated was evidence that clarity was your destiny. You weren't fighting small shadows. You were resisting forces that feared who you would become. They weren't just attacking your life. They were fighting the version of you that was coming, the awakened, grounded, spiritually aligned version who would no longer be manipulated by fear or brokenness. And chosen one, haven't you realized yet that if those battles were meant to destroy you, they would have succeeded, but they didn't. Every attack failed. Every storm eventually cleared. Every shadow that tried to pull you under lost its grip. You're still here, still rising, still awakening, and that is the greatest sign of all. You were always stronger than what came against you. This unseen warfare didn't break you, it revealed you. It showed you the power you carry, the intuition you possess, the light you radiate. It trained your spiritual senses. It awakened your discernment. It pushed you into awareness. And now, chosen one, you are stepping into a chapter where the battles you once feared no longer intimidate you. You see the patterns. You recognize the energy. You understand the assignment. You've outgrown the tactics once used against you. You survived the wars you couldn't see because you were destined to win the battles you're now ready to fight consciously. The shadows feared who you would become. and now you're finally becoming it. Chosen one, lean in, because what I'm about to reveal will stir the very core of your spirit. When we speak about your purpose demanding your survival, we are speaking of a force older and wiser than your human mind. A call that refused to let you quit even when your body and heart were screaming in exhaustion. Have you ever felt that subtle insistence within you, a gentle yet undeniable pull that kept nudging you forward when everything else in life suggested surrender? That, chosen one, is your purpose. It's louder than your pain, firmer than your doubts, and more persistent than any obstacle that tried to stop you. There were moments in your life when giving up seemed easier. Times when the weight of disappointment, betrayal, and endless struggle pressed so hard on your shoulders that letting go felt like the only relief. But each time you considered surrender, something within you resisted. That inner voice, that quiet whisper in your spirit, reminded you that your journey was not yet complete. Have you ever paused to wonder why you survived moments that should have broken you completely? Why, despite every reason to quit, you found the courage to continue? It's because your purpose was calling you. It was speaking directly to your soul, even when your ears and eyes failed to hear it. Purpose doesn't negotiate. It doesn't give up. It doesn't wait for your approval. It pulls relentlessly, chosen one, and sometimes that pull feels like pressure, tension, or even torment. But the truth is, it is pure grace. It anchors your spirit when storms rage. It illuminates the path when darkness surrounds you. And it whispers direction when your heart is lost in confusion. Purpose reminded you that you were here for more than mere survival. That your presence matters, that your voice matters, that your story matters. It demanded that you endure not for yourself alone, but for the lives and the missions that only you could fulfill. And think about it, chosen one. Haven't you noticed that life never threw ordinary challenges at you? That the difficulties, the heartbreaks, the isolation, the unexpected chaos, they were all designed to prepare the exact version of you that your destiny needs. Purpose doesn't just allow survival, it requires it. It demanded that you rise each time you were pushed down, that you face the storm each time you were afraid, that you heal each time your spirit ached. Because without your survival, without your conscious presence, the calling woven into your soul could not be expressed. Your destiny requires your awakening, your alignment, and your courage to step fully into the work you were born to do. Have you ever asked yourself why certain opportunities, signs, or synchronicities always seem to arrive just when you needed them? That is purpose nudging you forward, guiding you toward your next assignment. Chosen one, understand this deeply. Your survival was never random. Every delay, every heartbreak, every too much moment, it was orchestrated. Your endurance was required. Your healing was demanded. Your presence was necessary. Heaven itself refused to let you disappear from the story you were sent here to write. And now,